Howdy y'all, I'm Ice Gold, and today I wanted to quickly talk about the pros and cons of the new Wallaru pity system and how you farm for the 170 gear. So, as some of you may know by now, you can simply craft the gear that you need. It's not like it was in Novus, where you needed 9 pieces of masterpiece gear just to craft, you know, the ring that you need, because now all that you need is just some dream water and some dreamstone. And I'll probably post a video on where to farm this as well, probably sometime this week. So yeah, so for dream water, this is not painfully slow, I would say. You can get this honestly pretty easily if you farm the right bosses. So the pros are that, you know, obviously you're not just sitting there at the mercy of like the Dazai duelist, for example, where he just sort of just refuses to drop you the ring you're after, but will drop you every amulet under the sun. So that is hopefully just out of the game entirely. And now, of course, you just need to get enough dream water and dreamstone, and you will be able to craft your gear just as you need to. And I think that is really, really good. It's a major improvement from Novus, and I mean, I think it's really just a breath of fresh air. I'm not going to be sitting here just farming in Wallaru forever. Like, it's just, it's like you hear the words Novus farming, and, you know, there's a negative connotation to that, because Novus farming, it was just so bad, because all you would do is you would sit there, you would farm, you would just mindlessly run, you know, the worst designed boss in the game being, you know, Eon of Atavis, and just, you know, take 20-minute runs, all of that just to, you know, get your pins at the end, and, you know, you get like a fire crushing pin on your storm, and that's not what you wanted. You wanted, like, let's say you wanted like a myth punishing pin, and Eon of Atavis was just like, you know what, you spent the last 20 minutes beating down these 4 bosses in polymorph mode. I think you deserve a fire crushing pin. Hope you enjoy. Definitely a pro that you can just craft whatever you want. Also on the list of pros is the fact that now you can finally craft these jewels. Used to be just an absolute pain in the ass to go get, because, you know, it's like 40, the 40 thieves out in Mirage used to be the best place for these 6% pierce jewels, because their drop rates were the best and you got a lot of other stuff while you were farming for it. But now all you need is 10 dream water and you can craft the jewels you sought after. And honestly, leading up to Wallaru's release, I really wanted to try out this death damage ring on my storm, as well as some death punishing pins, so that way I could synchronize Gravestorm with my normal deck setup in PvP to do a lot more damage and drain a lot more. But I couldn't, because I didn't have pins. I just had, I had plenty of life pins, but I didn't have death pins, which is what I wanted to do. And because of that, I could only run my death damage spells for the utility. And then my life spells, you know, I had like mediocre damage with them, because I didn't even have full life pins either. But yeah, now I can just, it's like if I want to, I can go in here and just craft as many death punishing pins as I want. And granted, I need to be level 170 to craft it, which, and honestly, I'll go into this little thing below it in a minute here too. But like, if I wanted to, I could just craft these, and, you know, there you go. Like, I have all of the death punishing pins that I will ever need, and I think that's really, really great. Just the whole pity system idea is just really, really great, and I love what they've done with it. I could reliably get, you know, all the pins that I had to spend ages farming for now, with just a little bit of dream water, a little bit of farming, you know, like 4 to 5 runs of Freddy Croker will get you a 160 storm mending pin, and I think that's really, really great. And then, you know, these new health jewels, it's like you just run Freddy Croker 4 or 5 times, and there you go, you can craft a square health jewel. I mean, it's so nice, because I can get my farming done quick as opposed to like super duper slow. And you know, for an item like the Fierce Dreamweaver knife, which looks really, really damn good. I mean, that's a 3% increase in damage right there compared to my Eon of Fame. It's like if I had, you know, 1 extra Dreamwater and level 170, I could just craft this. And you know, I would have it. I would have the square slot on the Fame for some extra health, some more damage, that type of deal. But there are a number of cons to this, and it's the most glaring one, in my honest opinion, is that there are these badges. You know, it's like you saw earlier as I was mousing over the craft button that I needed to have a specific badge to be able to craft. Now, the way that you get these badges is by doing each of the last bosses, Freddy Croaker, the Spiral Fleets, Crash the Bandicoot on the side quest, and Mr. Montgomery up in the Doom Moon as well. You would have to do all of them 10 times, but in the event of the Spiral Fleets, it is 15. So that's fun. But yeah, the badges that you get are what unlocks your ability to craft. It's like for Freddy, you get Freddy Player 1. I farmed this just a few minutes ago with some friends, and I was able to get the badge, so I can now craft the circle jewels and shield pins, because that is what Freddy drops. So having this, you know, this is what allows me to make shield pins and rings. I can officially craft, or once I unlock the level, I can officially craft these 11% damage jewels that I've actually gotten a few dropped, but I can craft them now too if I want to. But for the others, for Mr. Montgomery and the invading fleets, I can't craft my sword pins until I beat Mr. Montgomery 9 more times. And you know, Mr. Montgomery is at the end of a long dungeon, and the strat is all convoluted. I heard they made him easier. You can Scald Incendiate him now, but regardless, I still have to do him 9 more times. And, you know, the Invader Fleet's 14 more times, so isn't that some fun stuff? The main thing about it is that I have to do all of this on every school. If I go back to Hope Springs here, you will see that when I open the Gear Crafter, I can only craft the Storm-specific pins. It ends on page 3, and, you know, I can only craft the Storm-specific pins. Jewels are also locked. Or I guess the Pierce Jewels aren't. You can make the Pierce Jewels for any school, but things like the Crit Circle Jewels, the Damage ones, these are all school locked, which, you know, is what it is. Because like a Storm could craft these 11% ice damage jewels and then just trade them over to an ice, and all of a sudden you have like a total of 10 more damage if you were to run 5 of these. So it makes sense why they're locked, but it's like you can't craft them until you have Freddy Player 1, meaning you beat him 10 times. For the sword pins, again, you have to beat Mr. Montgomery 10 times, which will give you the does have the power badge. So if I want to make these death punishing pins, I have to go beat him up 9 more times. And I have to get the badge on every single character if I want to craft the stuff that I want to make, like these pins and whatnot. So it's a new kind of tedious. I don't think it's worse than Novus. I think, you know, you can reliably get the stuff you're after in a reasonable amount of time. It's sort of like the Catacombs, except, you know, the Catacombs wasn't a reasonable amount of time, but now it's like you just have to, across 7 characters, you know, it's like that is 70 Mr. Montgomery runs. That is 70 Freddy Croaker runs. That is 105 total invading fleet runs. And team, I don't know how I feel about that. Especially when the efficacy of certain schools is not so great. Like in the invading fleets, it's like if you are a fire wizard, You can use your link spell, and you'll be able to set up 2 gambits at once. You'll set up Buck Gordons and the Bantams with the damage and heal overtimes, but every other school, if they want to do that, they have to have link TCs, and as you just saw, I don't have those. I had to mouse over power link just to show you the example, but yeah, fire just in general is probably the best school to do actual farming on, because, you know, Mr. Montgomery, you could Scald Incendiate. Freddy Croker, you could Scald Incendiate. The invading fleets, you have the one spell that sets up 2 gambits at once. You know, it's like, fire is just the de facto best school to farm on. But in order to craft everything, like if you want a death specific jewel, like if you want a storm punishing pin on a death, you will still need to run Mr. Montgomery 10 times on a death and give up efficiency in order to do that. So I mean, I don't know, that's just my take. I think it would be nice if they weren't badge locked, but I mean, I can also totally understand why they are. It's just one of those things we're gonna have to deal with. It's like you get why they're like that, but you still wish that they weren't. So I don't know, I'm just yapping, bruh. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I really don't have that many complaints about the new pity system in Wallaru. I'm excited to see the Nightmare still, and I am assuming it will have the same type of pity system where it's like you have to beat the final boss in order to craft a hat, for example. It's like you'll have to run the dungeon 10 times to craft a hat or something like that, which on every school it's gonna suck, especially if specific schools my main ice is just really bad, and it's like people might leave team ups if they see an ice. It's just, I don't know. It's a major step up from Novus, but yeah, I still feel like I wish I could just farm on one or a specific number of characters rather than having to do it on every single one just to craft the gear. But yeah, I do like this a lot more than Novus's pity system and the pity systems of years past. It's not Catacombs level unreasonable, but it is definitely a new kind of thing, and it's tedious in its own way, but I do still think that it's better than what we had in years past, and I hope it's here to stay. I hope they make improvements to it. I hope we don't have to beat the invading fleets 15 times, but rather maybe 8, I think is a better number, but still, you know. Regardless, I'm going to do the outro in front of the HEB, and so, yeah. Thank y'all for watching. I've been Ice Gold. I'll see y'all in the next one. Be sure to like, subscribe, and leave like 50 comments for the algorithm. I'll see y'all later.